Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you all having a great day today. In today's video, I've got two builds for you. One build that is absolutely no RNG and you guys can easily replicate, and one that is just a pinch of RNG, but if you do manage to get the piece, every run you have will just be completely changed for the better, and it can just be so convenient. But without further ado, let's get right into the builds. And if this video helps out, make sure to hook me up with a like and subscribe, as that helps out the channel a ton. Now let's do this. Starting off with our first build, it's gonna require absolutely zero RNG, and most of the pieces are relatively easy to get. The first piece you're going to want to get is the old pocket watch. You get this immediately after clearing the first expedition in the game, fighting Tricephalos. Hope I said that right. But after you beat him, you'll immediately get an old pocket watch, and even if you keep losing, you actually have a small chance of getting the pocket watch anyways. But basically, you're guaranteed to get this item, and what it's going to do is just give you FP regen where you previously didn't have any. This is just going to open up windows for you to have more chances to cast damaging spells, healing spells, or use tools, items, or anything that require FP. Next up, we have the small makeup brush. Now this relic gives you a ton of buffs. It's going to first give you an increased rune acquisition for yourself and allies throughout the entire expedition, beginning to end. So the second that you show up to the team, you already give them this massive buff that's going to help your entire team's economy and just let you power up and get to the end game even faster than normal runs. And your other thing is going to be a power up while fighting alongside family members, which give a buff based off of whichever family member you actually spawn in. This buff is granted when Helen is on the field. It gives you continuous HP regen for the entire duration that they're on the field. This is just really nice for general survivability, and also if you have a talisman or some type of effect that only procs when your HP is at full, this will just give you an extra chance to have it proc, since you don't have to pop a flash just to get it back. You'll just have it passively, which can be a ton of utility, and just overall it's really nice to have. Next up, we have Frederick, who's just going to give you a raw attack power bonus. So as you can see here, if we do a fully charged fireball, it's going to do 155, but if we summon Frederick, boom, you'll see that it goes from 155 to 170, so it's just a nice attack power bonus. You can't go wrong with extra damage. Finally, we got the big dog himself, Sebastian. Now this guy right here, he's gonna give you a nice elemental resistance buff. Basically, you're gonna have more resistance against fire, lightning, magic, and holy damage, just making you take overall less damage from it, which is just really nice when you're just trying to tank some damage. All three of these buffs are just really nice quality of life, so you just can't go wrong with them. But on to the next relic. Finally, we have Knight of the Fathom. Now this item gives a really nice effect where all items confer effects to all nearby allies, but most importantly, this passive right here, your flask will be spread out to your teammates. Basically, if every time you pop a flash, you just need your teammates to be somewhat close to you and they get a shared effect of the flash. You do need to be mindful that if you take a heal and you're not near your teammate, they won't receive the buff. But overall, I mean, this thing can be a game changer. I'm talking you could be using all 7 or 8 of your flasks to heal up your teammates and use your mana bar to heal up your teammates with healing incantations. And that is a ton, and I mean a ton of resources that in most other runs you probably wouldn't even have access to. But with this specific character, you just give so much healing out, and it's just really nice for sustaining your team. This can help out in the Night Lord bosses and just in general. And that's gonna do it for the first build here. It's pretty much predominantly support. You're just here to make sure your teammates stay healthy, that the run goes smoother by giving them extra runes, and that you're just all around being a super effective support. You're gonna keep the economy in terms of their healing flask and the runes that they gain very high, and it just makes sure that your team can make it through a majority of runs just by having so many second chances and so many additional heals. But on to the second build here. Okay, for this second build, it's gonna be more of a hybrid build. I'm gonna try to explain this one much quicker than the first one, but in summary, I've played with a lot of randoms recently, and to just give you the short explanation, there's certain teams where there's no supporting them. All right, you can't really like support the team and expect to win. You might have to pull off a certain amount of clutches by yourself, and this build is just a quality of life build that can make those clutches happen much easier. So for starters, we'll be keeping the Knight of Fathom relic, but we're gonna be using the Knight of the Demon relic. This relic you can actually get from the Equilibrious Beast expedition, which is gonna be a bit more difficult, so you might need a little bit more time to adjust before you fight that guy. But once you do, his relic is insane for keeping your mana around. If you go up to the jar merchant, you can buy Revenant's goblet and the cross legs emote, both of which you're gonna need to make this build work. Now once you use the cross legs emote, you're gonna build up madness on yourself, but this is a good thing. While yes, you will lose an initial amount of HP and FP, you get an FP regen buff, which will give you more FP than the amount you lost, and it's just super nice for infinite FP sustain. You can do this at will, and as long as you have the HP to pull it off, you can just keep back to back using this and getting so much FP back throughout the match. This is really nice if you run out of Starlight Shards, or you just in general want to get FP back really quick without spending anything besides your HP. Do be mindful, by the way, even though you can do this back to back, it doesn't exactly stack, so you just be eating up a lot of HP and resetting the timer instead of like actually stacking the buff. So just keep that in mind, as you should probably just wait out the full duration of it when you're doing so. You are gonna have to know when the right time is to use this, but you are on one of the safest classes in the game to try something that takes this long. I mean, you have your teammates to guard you, you have your summon to guard you, and you might even have your passive summons to guard you too, so you'll have the time, since you'll be so far in the background casting spells, that you, as long as you do it in smart situations, it's so nice for infinite sustain. Now for our final relic. I think I'm gonna be sick. There's RNG in our non-RNG video. Now basically you're gonna want a green relic, and if you can help it, you want to get this Wraith Calling Bell in possession at start of expedition roll. If you do get this, it just makes playing Revenant off spawn and throughout the entire match as a whole so much easier. You basically spawn in with this ranged spell. And this thing right here, it doesn't scale off of anything. It doesn't scale off of your faith, your arcane, your intelligence, or even your level. Except it does scale up with attack power sources, and I have found it does increase in damage. If you can find a way to make your magic damage go up, it will make it do even more damage. So those are two ways that you can consider if you want to make the Wraith Calling Bell do even more damage throughout the run. But the damage output that this thing can do, and for the FP cost, it will actually like perform on par with a level 15 incantation in your hand. I don't know how, I don't know why the stats are like this, but it works really good and throughout the entire expedition. Like I've gone through entire expeditions only using my starting seal and these Wraith Calling Bells occasionally. They're just really nice, and it's just so quality of life if you can pull it off. Now obviously you don't have to do this, and you can just go with the safer option being the first build and just find the Wraith Calling Bell inside of the run. But you know, that's leaving it down to RNG, and that's completely up to you if you want to do that. But personally, I just found it to be really nice for me throughout a lot of my runs, especially with the randoms. And that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. As always, I hope the build helped out a ton, and if it did, a like and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. With that being said and done, it is currently 7:45 a.m. here. I'm gonna try to get some good sleep. And also next up on the chopping block for classes I want to make a build for, I want to try out the Guardian. But if you guys have any other class you guys want to see me make a starting build or any type of build in general for, let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you all on the next one. Peace, love, and bye bye.